Hello and welcome to my review on the 2022 9.5-foot animated Santa's Flight Inflatable from Gemmy. This was sold online and in stores through BJ's Wholesale Club, retailing for $179.99. I neglected picking this up at the time as it wasn't needed for my display, then once the season was over, the same could also be said for its availability. Or so I thought. Just a few weeks later, it and at least one other from BJ's Christmas lineup came back in stock on their website for 75% off. One could only assume there was overflow of these intricate and eye-catching designs, and by having to get rid of them, it worked out for me who was beginning to regret not buying one. My reasons can be felt simply by a quick glance at the unique concept and vivid colors, but are better expressed through its features. Included are 10 LED C7s, 2 animation mechanisms, one for the rocking reindeer, the other for Santa's arm, plus a multitude of luxe fabrics. Gemmy wants you to know this isn't your average Airblown as they've emphasized all these components, making for a lengthy title. Both sides of the box are the exact same, then moving to the back we've got a real-life comparison, and lastly 2022 Gemmy Industries Corp. The official name of this inflatable is too long for me to put in the title of this video, let alone for me to say, so it's time to unbox Santa's Night Sky Flight. Equipped with the YF200, that's exactly what it needs to support 2 animation motors, and isn't too surprising as BJ's has a pretty good track record of putting the right fans on their inflatables. What is surprising, though, as we'll see later in the review works better, is the fact that the fan is not underneath the sleigh, rather it's below the reindeer in his half, which caught me off guard at first. Despite a width of nearly 10 feet, this does have a bit of a balancing issue where it likes to lean back, so I have staked it down completely, utilizing the provided spiral stakes too. There are 4 tether attachments found on the sleigh with 1 at each corner, plus 2 down at the bottom for our spiral stakes to hook to. We're now ready to turn this from looking like it was shot out of the sky into a magical sleigh, so let's plug it in. Taking 20 seconds to inflate. Once it does, it definitely feels fuller at some parts more than others. Example being the top of the bag, which receives little airflow, though that's about the only point that has trouble, as much of the rest stays nice and tight. Rarely have I seen this many details packed into one inflatable, so it's a bit of a challenge on where to focus, but beginning with the reindeer and the clouds, I think it's an extremely clever idea. I'm glad a store saw its value, and that this didn't just remain a prototype. The reindeer moves back and forth with the teeter-totter animation style, meaning this is the side with the actual motor, and the other is a disc with no power going to it at all. If you listen closely during the review, you may hear a clicking sound. Not sure what that is, but fortunately it is not affecting anything. By having solely a pillar on the back instead of more clouds, it perhaps made it easier to pull off that movement, but I can understand people not liking that, as during the daytime you lose a little bit of the illusion. Frankly, I have no problem with it because for starters you can barely see it, and to me, this has only one place it should be displayed, which is in the air. It's the most made-for-the-roof inflatable they've ever released, as it doesn't make any sense to have this ground level. Unless Santa's supposed to be gliding above a glittery river through dense fog, it's kind of wasting the potential this has, if it's not either A, secured on the roof, or B, suspended high enough to where you can accomplish the same goal. I know everyone's circumstances are different, so if neither of those things seem realistic for you, if you find a listing or have a chance to purchase this, think twice before throwing it out in the yard, as I think it may be a poor use of space. Moving on to some other design aspects, you'll notice how strong the waving of Santa's arm is, almost like a toy soldier the way it immediately switches directions like that, though I would have preferred his left arm was animated instead, to where he's pulling on the reins. We saw from the box there are 5 types of luxe fabrics on the inflatable alone, but there are multiple colors per material as well, such as Santa's mittens, the bag of gifts, and the sleigh, which are all made from a shiny dotted pattern, the same for example as the presents on my 21-foot Walmart sleigh. There's a fuzzy texture to Santa's beard, the same can be said for the lining of his coat, of which itself is more of a felt-like material. Then up top, the extra fuzzy teddy bear, with, by the way, its own light inside so he won't be lost at night, metallic gold for the runners of the sleigh, as well as the outline, and hopefully I'm not missing anything, yet still very impressive by Gemmy. While 10 lights on an inflatable is more than we can ask for nowadays, I still consider putting a spotlight on it due to proximity between it and the viewer. As you'll see, it lights up very well at night, but some sort of exterior lighting, whether it be a projector or a floodlight, would add to it even more. More specifically, it would allow you to see the stars which aren't illuminated by the C7s. For sure don't want to lose that critical piece of it when there's an easy fix. Lastly, this has 3 zippers, with the first tucked under by the fan. The second is behind Santa, where you'd access most of the bulbs from. I'll move closer to get a better look at that. Case in point, one being right in front of it. Then finally, we've got our third, which is in somewhat of an awkward location underneath the reindeer, just about there. To wrap up, this is currently going for more than its original retail of $179.99, as most great designs like this end up doing, so routine checks of eBay, Mercari, Marketplace from now until the season starts again should result in finding one for a fair deal. Let me know in the comments what your favorite feature is, the double animation, the size, the abundance of luxurious materials, something else I want to know. Until next time, I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.